Hello, my name is Tiffany McTaggart and I'm an agricultural consultant with SAC Consulting. Today we're going to be talking about preparing for sustainable farming in this week's Rural Roundup. Preparing for sustainable farming was launched earlier this year and is live on the Rural Payments and Services website. So preparing for sustainable farming is starting to look at what farmers are doing on their own farms and how they can improve what they're doing. So there's two elements to this. There is funding available for carbon audits as well as funding available for soil sampling. For a farmer to be eligible for funding for a carbon audit, they can't have had a carbon audit done in the past 3 years. So if you've not had one done at all, or it's been further than 3 years ago, you're eligible to receive funding. You will be required to undertake a carbon audit with a company which adheres to the PAS 2050 standard. In addition to this, you will also have to have mitigations provided by an FBAS qualified advisor. If you meet these two criteria, you'll be then eligible to claim grant funding of £500 back afterwards. It is very important to complete a carbon audit. It's a way for you to consider what your business is doing, where your business is most efficient, where it's not quite so efficient, where the emissions are coming from, and which areas you're also doing very well at. Some of you may already have considered your carbon emissions, whereas others haven't, so it's a great starting place to think about what your farm is doing. So the second element to preparing for sustainable farming at the moment is soil sampling and analysis. So soil sampling, you're eligible if you have got Region 1 land. So to calculate how much of the land that you are eligible for funding for, you have a look at your BPS claim. So in the year that you're claiming for on your BPS claim, you are able to claim for 1/5 of your land that you claimed as Region 1 land. So for every hectare that you have, you're able to claim £30. So you can just do a bit of quick maths and calculate what area is eligible for funding. So for the soil sampling, you're required to sample for pH, phosphate, potash and carbon. So for the carbon, it could be the Dumas test or it could be loss on ignition. So making sure that you have all these elements when you do your soil sampling is key to them being able to claim the grant funding. It doesn't matter if you want to do a W pattern across the field or if you'd prefer to do GPS soil sampling. It's whatever suits your farm, but you cannot exceed the maximum allowance which you've already calculated. So the reason why soil sampling is so important is to get you to think about your nutrient management on your farm. So depending on what your soil analysis results are saying, it means you can alter your applications of nutrients and use them as efficiently as possible. This in turn can help reduce potential runoff or potential losses of nitrogen to the environment, which is important to do. So for the nutrient management side of it, you can also receive funding the first year which you claim funding for soil analysis. You can receive additional funding for you to go and undertake a learning experience on nutrient management. So this could be going on a course or just taking time out to speak to your advisor and learn more about doing your own nutrient management planning. It's a great thing to do because then you're able to go and apply your mucks and manures more efficiently and use them on the fields which are going to benefit from the most from them. So following on from track 1, track 2 has very recently been announced. So track 2, instead of just focusing on what the farmer's doing on their own farm, this is looking at a bigger sector approach. So for this bigger sector approach, what they're doing to start with is a questionnaire to farmers. This is a way for them to gather information, find out about what farmers' thoughts are on different aspects, and is a way to see what the constraints are as well. So in the questionnaire, there's a range of questions. This includes questions on carbon audits, nutrient management plans, biodiversity, animal health and welfare, breeding plans. There's a whole host of questions covering a huge range of topics. On the 30th of June, people who were selected to take part in this questionnaire were sent out an email, and on the email there's a link to the questionnaire. So people who've received the email have been invited to take part in the study, and if they do take part, all participants will receive £50, which will just be paid to you to your bank account where you receive your BPS. For those of you who received an email asking you to take part in the questionnaire, this is open until the 27th of July. After the 27th of July, this information will be looked at, identify any gaps in the data that's been gathered, because they want to have a representative sample across the whole of Scotland. So then in August, they will then invite further people to go and take part in the survey. Unfortunately, not everybody is being invited to take part in the study, but they are looking for volunteers. So during July, they're going to have a host of social media campaigns just to try and get the information out there. So if you go and respond to these campaigns and register your interest, then you'll be invited as a volunteer to take part in the questionnaire in August. Following on from this, they're then going to have a look at the information that they've gathered and make a plan going forward. So what the aim is to be able to come up with a set of measures or conditions which farmers are going to have to implement. So it is looking likely at the moment that they're going to do some pilot testing on further measures which could be implemented on farm in autumn 2023. Thank you for watching this episode of FAS TV. We'll see you again soon.